Alright, I'm having severe writer's block lately, so I'm just gonna start it off hot. Hyrule Warriors is fucking awesome! It's always seemed a bit unfair that the only times we get to play as characters other than Link were in Smash Bros, so this game was a very welcome surprise back in 2014. Including the DLC, which is something I don't buy very often, I spent over 300 hours on it. Then, I got the definitive edition back in July, and spent another 400 hours or so on it. And now we have another Hyrule Warriors game coming out in November. Nice. This is a rare example of a fan service game not that kind, done right. With references to almost every Zelda game in the series, it was a total blast from the past for people who had been playing Zelda since the 80s and 90s, like me since 1998. Using characters and weapons mainly from the original Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword, they created a bizarre story that uses plot points from all the canonical timelines, and included some new, original characters that actually fit with the rest of the cast surprisingly well. Then we got the 3DS and Switch versions that also added content from Wind Waker, Link's Awakening, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and A Link Between Worlds. The actual story of the main campaign is honestly kinda bad, and reads like a cringe fanfiction written by a 14-year-old fangirl. But hey, it's a fanfiction that sounds like it came from someone who really loved the series at least. And it's not like the series is known for having great stories anyway, and before you roast me in the comments for that, it's because the gameplay, the adventure you experience in Zelda games, is what makes them so great. But in Hyrule Warriors? Nope. Hyrule Warriors is about taking many of the series' major characters, making them ridiculously OP, and using them to mow down thousands of enemies at a time, just like the Dynasty Warriors series, while enjoying all the great fan service, not that kind, and it's so satisfying. With many challenges and scenarios to play through in the adventure mode, with tons of extra weapons to discover to power up your characters, and extra character skins that reference other characters from various Zelda games. Even for a full-price $60 game, the definitive edition on the Switch has much more than enough content to make up for it. It took me around 420 hours to unlock all the weapons and most of the costumes, and I still have a ways to go, but I've played the game enough that I think I could put together a pretty accurate tier list video. Maybe I'll do that, I don't know. And next month we have Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity coming out. The game looks nice, and I was expecting to lose another several hundred hours to it, but I'm a bit skeptical about it. Breath of the Wild was a good game, but nowhere near my personal favorite, and the fact that they are moving toward milking this one particular game as much as they possibly can is a bit worrying. One of the things I criticized the first Hyrule Warriors for was the lack of stages, and if you have to spend a long time playing the game to unlock and beat everything, playing on the same stages over and over is a repetitive drag at times. This game is based only on the overworld of Breath of the Wild, so it's likely to have the same issue if there's a lot of extra content. The game being a canon prequel also means we already know what happens in the story, and it will just be filling in the gaps. And since it's wholly based on the new timeline, the game will probably have less characters to use than the original Hyrule Warriors. We only have 7 confirmed playable characters so far, while the original had 13, 16 if you count the free update that made the new villains playable. I hope that they are just keeping some playables under wraps due to spoilers, but you never know. I'll just keep my expectations low. Anyway, that's all I really have to say. Hope you enjoyed this low effort thing I done did. Leave your Zelda related ramblings in the comments, and if you like this video and want to see more, you know what to do.
Nice.